Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Elder Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning.
Welcome, the Queen.
Thank you.
Victoria Tundu MKO Abiola.
The full thing.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Efeni.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Efeni, your tie is looking urbane today. It's looking complete.
Yes. Let's start with this day newspaper. Nigeria's newspaper of records. The lead story, be magnanimous, Buhari urges Obaseki as PDP routs APC in Edo. My victory, triumph against godfatherism, says Edo governor. APC rejects election results to decide on next step. Atiku Saraki Tambuwa, others greet governor-elect. Yes, the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. Other newspapers are reporting this story as well. The Nigerian Tribune, with 307,955 votes, Obaseki gets 4 plus 4. Jubilation as he gets second term. APC wins 5 local governments. PDP clears 13 local governments. Obaseki salutes Edo people, assures of sustained development. Buhari congratulates him. Now, the Daily Trust has the same story, Edo governorship, how Obaseki defeated Ize Iyamu. The Daily Sun, APC kicks as Obaseki conquers Ize Iyamu Oshomole, re-elected. Buhari, PDP, Atiku, Wike, others hail election. And the Daily Independent newspaper, APC blames Oshomole for defeat, urges sanction, rejects results as members to remain calm, asks members to remain calm. The Nation newspaper, yes, we have to see the Nation newspaper. Obaseki, I owe my victory to people's collective will. And if we just look at the foreign newspapers before we return to this day, in the UK, the coronavirus. Yes, the Guardian newspaper, the Guardian of UK. UK at critical point, chief scientist to warn public. Yes, the chief medical officer of England will make a rare televised address today, warning that the coronavirus pandemic, the trend is heading in the wrong direction. Just as the Prime Minister is considering another round of restrictions, aka lockdown, across England, which may last for 6 months. Of course, if we look at the Financial Times, talking about what's happening in America, Trump's attempt to ban WeChat stymied by California ruling. California judge has temporarily blocked a U.S. Department of Commerce ban on Chinese social media app WeChat. Of course, the plaintiffs are citing the First Amendment. That ban is likely to violate the First Amendment. But if we just come back to these day newspapers and the front page, let us just look at the story there. Winners and losers. Ruben, if somebody say he's going to spend his last kobo and he loses his unit, did he spend any money or he wasted his money? Question, if you are in Lagos and you decide to poke your nose in Edo politics, you will get a bloody nose. That's what happened on Saturday. And of course, those are the losers, which is Secondus. The winner, President Muhammadu Buhari, must be congratulated because if things have gone wrong, we would hold him accountable for providing a level playing field. Kudos to President Buhari. The Inspector General of Police, his men did not disappoint him because he made several rounds to Edo State to tell the people and assure the people that the police and other security agencies will ensure that there is no violence, with pockets of violence here and there, minimal compared to what we have seen in other states in the past. So the police should also be giving kudos. Maybe we'll have some more pips to the IG's shoulder. He's done well, and his boys. INEC must also be congratulated. Materials appeared in all locations early enough, even before the first voter turned up. So in Edo, yes, I don't want to dwell on the issue of Edo not be Lagos, but truly the people of Edo State have spoken. They were given a level playing field to decide, and Obaseki has a second term. Tundu, let me start with you to welcome you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Efeni. Well, as we said earlier, congratulations to the governor-elect. And like you rightly said, kudos to INEC and the security agencies led by the police force. It's unusual in recent times for us to congratulate them for a job well done. And yes, as Dr. Abasi said, there was one tragic death and an unfortunate machete attack. But barring those few incidents of violence, it was peaceful for the most part. And of course, there were allegations of vote buying, which obviously I do hope will be investigated. But all in all, it was a good turnout, it was a good showing, and it was conducted freely and fairly from current indications.
Well, I think this is also a moment of awakening for Governor Obaseki. All the forces were
arrayed against him.
But at the end of the day, he has managed to be victorious. Yes. And he has put his finger on it by saying that it was the people's will that prevailed. That's what the observers also saw. That's what outsiders following the process also saw. He promised the people of Edo State that he will make Edo great again, mega. And now is the moment of rededication, of reflection, of ensuring that he delivers on his promises to the people. He's known as Mr. MOU, Governor MOU, a governor who engages in memoranda of understanding. And there are many unfinished projects that he needs to proceed with. There is the Urunigbe rubber plantation. There is the Gele port. There is the Azura Edo power project, gas project, oil and gas project. There is the Osiomo IPP project. And then there is the unresolved issue of the closure of schools, College of Education Ikiadolo and the College of Nursing. These were issues that came up in the course of the campaigns. He will need to address them now as a way of making Edo great again. The people have given him a vote of confidence in his abilities. They have helped him to shame the godfathers who threatened to get him out of office. He should now move ahead and work very hard. We say this because usually during second term, most governors, they just relax. They don't do what they need to do. But we'll take a short break. When we come back, the conversation will continue with you, Emmanuel Efeni. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Still with us is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni, who has been reviewing newspapers from around the world. So, Emmanuel Efeni, I was saying that Governor Obaseki has his work cut out for him in terms of the projects. Well, on the other hand, of course, he has to run an inclusive government. He should eschew malice, despite the level of opposition that faced him. Some people have said this is the end of godfatherism. Well, I don't quite think so. There will still be godfatherism in Nigerian politics, but I think the godfathers have been taught a little lesson about the extent to which they can go. And I hope other voters around Nigeria will learn from the example of the people of Edo State, who stood firm and took a decision and defended their votes and made sure that at the end of the day, it was their will that prevailed. Part of the undercurrent, of course, what has happened in Edo State may have implications for 2023 general elections. Because as we have seen now, the PDP has been able to gain more states. Now they have 16 states. And, the PDP is now the dominant party in the south-south part of Nigeria. All of this may have implications for the calculations in 2023. However, part of the subtext of that election is that we were told that, look, there were even persons, governors within the APC who supported Governor Obaseki because they were not too pleased with the internal politics of the APC. So we hope that this will also provide the APC as a party an opportunity for further reflection and for promoting internal democracy. If the APC does not learn the relevant lessons from what has happened in Edo State, it may end up paying a price for it in 2023. But President Buhari has provided the necessary leadership by staying above the fray and commending all the various groups that took part in that election. However, I thought that at another level, we can see the fear of visa restrictions as pronounced by the UK and the United States may also have played a role in what transpired in Edo State on September 19.
Rufai, was the visa threat really a factor? If we have to depend on the US and the UK to help us punish electoral offenders.
Mr. Efeni, let me tell you a big secret. It was a factor, very big factor. Even some people had to respond that it's disrespectful to say that because of electoral malpractice, you will deny us visa. Some people reacted. And if you know the people that reacted, you know deep within you, the
He was even accusing the UK and the US of interference. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also accused the US and the UK of violating Nigeria's sovereignty. But all of that is beside the point.
We're not supposed to mention their names.
No, but Ruben, I think what we should take from those interventions, distasteful as it may seem to the Nigerian Foreign Ministry, is that if electoral offenders are punished and seen to be punished, there will be some sanity in our electoral process. But as we have it up till now, people we know reach their way to power. Just carry on as if nothing happened. And that is why we have so much impunity.
It still goes back to a strong will. And I keep asking the question, what do we want out of our democracy? Do we want it to work, or do we want it to favor those that can get around the system? I keep referring to 2008, and I keep referring to President Umar Musa Yar'Adua of blessed memories. He said very profoundly, I respect that man a lot, for a leader to come in and say that I know the elections that brought me in were fraught with irregularities. And he didn't just say that as a statement. He went ahead to set up a panel. Let's look at this. How can we make this better? They submitted a report. And that report is a pathway to getting things right. But where is the will to follow that report?
Well, actually, the Senate did pass, it's past second reading, a bill to create the Special Election Tribunal Court. And then it's really massively increased jail terms. It's increased fines that are maybe like 100,000 naira under the current act to things like 10 million naira. You have like huge long jail terms of 15 years rather than a year or 2 years. So really efforts are being made with the Senate at least.
I'm excited about that, Tundu, but this report was released in 2008.
We're getting there.
It took us a long time.
Yeah.
And this was, the setting up of that committee was not just because of anything, was because the man that came in through the elections said, I know that the elections that brought me in were fraught with irregularities.
But you see, the Electoral Offenders Tribunal bill is part of the fallout of the Waste Commission.
Yeah.
That was one of the major recommendations of the Waste Commission. And civil society groups have also recommended that, so that electoral offenses can be dealt with expeditiously and, decisively. But in the Electoral Act that exists, there are sections of that Electoral Act that prescribe punishment, even for quarrelsome behavior at party meetings, vote buying, ballot snatching, and all of that. But nobody has ever tried to enforce those sections of the Electoral Act. This is where the problem is.
But who would enforce
Kogi,
INEC is supposed
and
to
in other elections,
INEC will say they are overwhelmed.
and in other elections, people were arrested. But we only saw pictures of persons who were arrested. Nothing came out of it. If you know somebody who has been sanctioned for snatching ballot box or for behaving riotously at any polling booth, maybe you mention the name of the person. And even in this Edo State election, we were told that there were issues at Isako Central and Orionwo. local government. Now, has anybody been apprehended? In Edo State, however, what happened was that the security people, yes, they were not overbearing as they would be ordinarily, but the people themselves defended their vote.
Yes.
That's the report that we have from Edo State. But it shouldn't be the people defending the polling stations. Those security people should do what they have to do. Yes. And still on Edo State,
yes,
INEC says that they have paid their hard work staff who were not paid as at Friday.
Yes.
I hope that that is true.
Yes.
And I hope also that the security agencies were given their allowance, because there was the report of one policeman who reportedly said nobody should disturb him again, that he had been working too hard and he had not received any allowance. Okay. So there must be proper accountability.
Yes, they should take care of the allowance.
Okay, Dr. Abbas, I want to raise a point real quickly, Mr. Efeni.
Yes.
The point is, how do you prosecute these people? I saw a video that went viral of a man that called himself a lawyer that was caught in the act of voter inducement, giving people money at a polling station. I think 2 or 3 personnel just held the man down, but there was no prosecutory method. I mean, if you catch somebody doing such a thing, voter inducement, for instance, who do you report to? Will the police charge the person or INEC? And that's why we say, let's have a special panel for this. But that has not been done.
Ruben, you said godfathers have been taught a lesson, but will they learn? Because it has always been there. Godsons teaching their godfathers lesson. In Enugu State, Chimaroke Namani dealt with Jim Wobodo, almost sent him into political exile. Closer to this date, Emmanuel Udom, a technocrat brought from Lagos, he was MD of Zenith Bank by Akpabio, taught Akpabio a lesson. Akpabio couldn't win a senatorial seat in that state. But will godfathers learn?
Will they learn? And that's
you cannot be overbearing just because you help somebody to power.
And on that note, we want to thank you very much, Emmanuel Efeni, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning.
Yes.